And here we are. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Welcome to Fikr-e-Nau. Today we are starting a different kind of program, as our listeners and audience know that most of the time in this forum we have been concentrating on issues related to Pakistan, mostly political issues, intellectual debates. But of late, I have been thinking that Pakistani community as a whole must get involved into American community building, in American politics, and in American society. In short, must get into the melting pot of America. But I have been thinking how to go about it, so couldn't find really a thread. And then uh, our guest today, Mr. Asam Sheikh, he actually came as an inspiration, and I'm really proud of him. He was born and raised in Pakistan, Lahore. He came here and worked hard. And today he is a member of Torrance City Council. Torrance is a city in California, and it is not that he just one fine morning he got up and he said, "Oh, I want to be a member of the city council," and he made it there. No, he worked hard. He had been in. He made himself involved in the city of Torrance, in the politics, in community building over the years. In fact, his profile says for decades. So that's how he is here. So you have to start early. And today's the program is to bring Mr. Asam Sheikh in to give an inspiration and guidance to our younger people how to move forward. Because my impression is, and this is not just an impression, it's a verifiable fact, that Pakistani community as a whole is not involved in American politics, in American society, in America's melting pot. So today we are starting that quest, starting with the Sheikh Saab, and I hope it gives us an excuse for our young people to think on those lines, that how we can move forward. Now, Sheikh Saab has been here for a long time. He represents third district in Torrance, which includes Dalama Mall and the city hall area, and which is a very important area. It's the heart of the town actually. That's where he represents there. And he at the same time he has full time job with Honda Motors in Torrance, and he's working there as senior financial analyst, and he has been working with there for a very long time. And he has been an active member of the Torrance community for decades. He is involved with Torrance Unified School District, and he has a masters of business administration degree. Once he moved here, he did not just stop there. First, he went to Dominguez Hills University, Cal State University, Dominguez Hills, and the kids who went to that university, community college, they should know that these colleges are important, and they have produced. And recently we heard that there are 5 mayors around Torrance County who are alumni of Dominguez Hills, and this is something to be proud of for anybody who has been to there or who is associated in Carson Rodney. He has a degree in computerized bookkeeping, and then later he went to UCLA Extension and earned a certificate of accounting there also. And not just that, he is an avid tennis player, and not just a player who's there just to for fitness sake or just to enjoy himself. He is leading the U.S. Tennis Association team of beach cities, which is not a small thing. So he is a multifaceted, multidimensional, multi-talented individual who is here. And before we go forward, I would request Asif Sheikh Saab to introduce yourself if you want to say more than what I have already said. This is from your official record, which I have said. So if you want to say something, and we have at least two young people who are listening to you. And so, if you could please go ahead. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of God, the most gracious, most merciful. First of all, thank you, Shakil, for inviting me. It's an
My
honor.
pleasure, sir.
It is truly an honor. I know you have been involved with the community for a long time as well. You are a good, integral part of our community. And I think you described extensively about my background. The couple things I wanted to add is that, like you mentioned, that I've been involved with community for decades. My involvement began about 20 plus years ago when I became a president for a homeowners association.
Oh,
At
okay.
the time, at the time I was requested by a couple homeowners to represent our homeowners association because our president, he just had a lot of other things, issues going on with his personal life. So he requested me to join and become part of the Membr and become part of the homeowners association. And that was my starting point because I believe that every community service that you do, there's a reward with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are some issues, and it's not easy to do any kind of volunteer work, but in in a nutshell, you will get reward if the condition is that if you do a good job. If you do actions, your actions going to speak louder than words. It is very prominent, very obvious that you have to get involved. You have to show that you have in you that you will make a difference. There are some figurehead positions, but sometimes in America, in the community that I grew here, I have to show with my actions. When I became the president of homeowners association at the time, the challenge was that our finance was in crisis. We had a little issue with balancing the budget with homeowners association, and at the time our association fee was $150. The reason I'm mentioning that to you is that I digged into the booking, I digged into the financials for the association, and after 20 years today, we raised only $40 from 150 to 190 in
Mm-hmm.
20 years, even with this inflation, which is about
Inflation and all this.
9% right now. It is
Mm-hmm.
because of my team, it is because of my passion, and most importantly, to show the community that I work hard and I am a man of actions. So, besides other things that you mentioned, I wanted to bring that out because some of my uh, colleagues with the association, they always tell me that I never bring this up. So, this is
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to I'm bringing this up that we as a team worked very hard to balance the budget, and not only balance the budget. After 20 years, we increased like 5-10%, which is, in my opinion, is an achievement. So besides that, you have also mentioned that I'm a part of tennis player. I'm very proud of my team. I'm a captain for the team for USTA for O rank. We have a match tomorrow as well. Wish me luck.
Hmm. Thank you. I wish you good luck, sir. You are playing against who?
I'm playing against West End. West End
Oh.
rec tennis team. They are very competitive. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Last season we beat them pretty good. That was a very good match, and I'm hoping to, with my team, we're gonna have a good competitive match tomorrow as well.
Inshallah.
Yeah. Inshallah, inshallah. Thank
We,
you.
we wish you the best.
Thank you. Additionally, I just want to mention briefly that I was a library commissioner. Then I became a civil service commissioner for the city of Torrance, where I became vice chair to the civil service commission. Very, very
Mm-hmm.
interesting commission. And I would encourage everyone who lives in Torrance, and if you do not live in Torrance, that's okay. You can represent your community, get involved with the commission. That's the first step for a major milestone. So please
Mm-hmm.
get involved. So I'll go ahead and answer any of your questions, but at the time, this is my introduction. I don't want to bore the community with my.
No, no, that's important, and what you're saying that makes a lot of sense because the people should know how to go about it. Because my concern is that the people of our community they just don't get involved. They live in their own cocoons, and they are still living in the past, and there is a disconnect. It's a serious sociological problem, because there is a disconnect between the first generation immigrants and the generation who was born and raised here in the United States.
That's correct.
Because as somebody put it, and I discussed it with you, somebody put it very beautifully, that the place where my father is buried is very dear to me.
Hmm.
That is my past.
That's
The
right.
place where my grandchildren are born and being raised, that is my future and their future, and I have to take care of that. So
Absolutely.
this is
Very
what
well.
we have to keep in mind.
Very
Look
well.
for the future. Look
That's
for the future and make a difference for the future generation and get involved. So
very,
that is important. So what wonders me is that Pakistani community, according to this U.S. census, is 600,000 plus in the United States, and still they hardly have any important office holder, elected office holder. I'm talking about. There is one mayor in some city of Massachusetts, and you are here, and in California, Torrance, but not otherwise. Other communities, well, is dispersed, not concentrated like, say, Arab community in places like Michigan, and but they are fairly in strong numbers in places like Dallas, and to some extent in New York, but not in a meaningful way. But their reluctances. So, what should people do? What should you do? What should I do to motivate people to come forward? What can be done?
uh, Shakil, first of all, this question that you're asking, it's so important. It's very critical for us to understand, not only understand the importance for this question, also understand this doesn't stop here. My answer, and I'm going to give you a very brief answer because that was part of my campaign when I was running for the city council, uh, having awareness, bringing awareness to the community, and realize the power of vote. The power of vote that we have here, we do not understand. The
Hmm.
power of vote is very is it's so critical for each youth, for our generation, to hang on it and to understand what difference can they make if they realize the power of their vote. We talk about so many things. We talk about anytime we talk about issues, we always go to the DC. But DC, Washington DC, will not solve your local issues.
That
Our
is very
local,
important. Yeah.
yes, exactly. And local issues are important for us to understand and get involved. When I was running for my campaign, I literally asked some of our youth members, do you know any council member's name? Can you name any of the person who is representing your community? Shkil,
Hmm.
it was very disappointing. It is very disappointing with our community, and I'm not pinpointing to our community, but some of our youth, they did
Mm.
not even know how many council members represent the city of Torrance, and
Wow.
that's disappointing. And
And
I,
it's the same about other cities also, whether in California or in Massachusetts or anywhere. It's the same thing.
that is unfortunate, though. I mean, they need to realize that everything starts at the local level. You have an issue with the police, you have an issue with your neighborhood, you have an issue with potholes on your neighborhood. You're
Hmm.
not going to go to Washington, D.C. You need to contact your local representative. And I call my community my boss. They are my boss. And I am a public servant for them. And it is very critical for them to understand that our community is the backbone. The youth is the backbone for our community. They need to realize these things. Is not just keep it as a hobby. This is a part of their life. What matters to their lives, what will impact them, their next generation, their parents, it will impact them drastically if they don't realize and they don't get involved. Yes, you can discuss politics at the national level, but local level politics is more important. The politics that makes a difference in your life. You have to understand this part.
No, you're
Again,
very good at
to
explaining that.
to, re-
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
to re-emphasize, understand the power of vote. In our city of Torrance, the Torrance City Council, we got elected one of the city council with a margin of 17 votes.
Wow.
With a margin of 17 votes. How ask those council people what they feel. They lost by 17 votes. In Culver City, recently, yesterday count was about Measure VY, which is a youth uh, are trying to get vote done by the 16 and 17 years old. They want to pass a legislation that is 16 and 17 years old individual can also vote. And that measure is shortfalling with 3 votes,
Wow.
literally 3 votes. That should tell you the future is in the power of how we vote. When you vote, you should not vote with with just by checking mark. You need to do your due diligence. You need to understand what each vote means, what each and every measure will do for your community. This is critical. If we don't wake up, we will not hurt anyone. We will only hurt ourselves. One thing I want to add that how important the vote is for the people, the legislatures. I'm a policymaker for the city of Torrance. For me, I have the data and it's a public information. I have the information in each neighborhood who votes and who does not vote. So for me, I when I'm gonna run for my campaign, or if I or any other person who runs for campaign, what they do, they look at their data. They see how many people are voting in this neighborhood. I'm just hypothetically, let's see, in one block there's about 100 houses, and 10 of the houses they're involved with the vote, casting their vote. My strategy is to go and talk to them
Okay.
because the other 90 houses, for me, they don't exist. And I'm not going to waste my time. What does that tell you the importance for those 90 people? If those 90 people have something to worry about the city, unfortunately, the way politics is, we look into that if you're really involved or not, if you cast vote or not. If you only just going to complain and not part of the democracy, you have no right to complain. And that is the fact.
So that is how democracy works.
That's
We
how
must realize that's how democracy works.
that's how
And one basic thing is that all politics is local.
that's right.
All politics is local. If you
Mhm.
want to, if you are aspired to be a senator or a member of Congress, you must start at the city level
At the local
and
level, at the municipal
local
level.
level and make your way up.
That's right.
And apart from this, there is another thing which comes to mind that not many people are involved in politics, but those who are, uh, their efforts are not coordinated.
Mhm.
See, in the November elections, we had Mr. Faisal Gill contesting for city attorney in the city of Los Angeles, and we had Dr. Asam Mahmood contesting for U.S. Congress from Huntington Beach, and both of them lost. Uh, that's unfortunate, but that's okay. But still, it's better to be in the race than to sit home.
Sure.
So they did that. My question to you is, as an experienced politician and as a community builder, will it not have been better if these guys, you and Mr. Gill and Mr. Dr. Mahmood, had coordinated their efforts, their fundraising? You invited them here and they invite you there, and you speak for them and they speak for you. That will at the city hall at the corner meeting. That I think would have had a better impact. So, what are your views on that?
Shaquille, it's a very touchy matter. Uh, you have a very valid point that if we coordinate with each other, if we are united, it will make a difference. In any politics, name recognition is the first thing that is going to make you victorious for your race, for your camp, for your election. I'm not gonna. I don't know if they had done any coordinated effort or not, so I'm not gonna assume anything because I
Mhm.
do not like to assume anything. Uh, that's a good question to ask them directly, which I think they should be able to answer. But what I would say though, uh, yes, if we are, if we become united, if we work together as a team,
Mhm.
team always wins. It's definitely a good point, and I haven't seen any person uh, win elections just by standing alone by
No.
for himself. It's a coordinated effort. Running a campaign is a science. It's very
Mhm.
important. There are a lot of efforts and a lot of uh, different minds that get together with different strategies. For instance, the strategy for Torrance may not work for city of Irvine, for city of Lameda or whatnot, but when you
Uh-huh.
get together, yes, it can make a difference. And and again, I'll reach out to Faisal and Dr. Mahmoud, and I will definitely encourage them to run again because, as you know, the history of Abraham Lincoln, he was twice defeated in U.S. Senate. He was twice defeated in state assembly. He had
Mhm.
history of he was defeated, but it never discouraged him. But that's a good milestone, good first step, and I'll reach out to them and see what we can do together to help them.
Inshallah. Now, Asam, I have a question for you. It is a question from Neelofer Qaid, and she says that I am a resident of Torrance and I have a business in Torrance. I am looking for someone who can help me to employ retention credit. So, can you answer that?
Sure. The employee retention credit comes from the state and the federal. There are two different types of retention credit, but this is done by the financial institutions for the banks. And I do have a lot of contacts here. The people that come to our city hall and they tell us if we can market their businesses to the residents, and she can reach out to me. I can connect her with local businesses and the financial institutions.
Oh, thank you. So,
Yeah.
I'll give your information to her, and hopefully she'll contact you.
Yes,
No,
yes, and this is also very important that we need to. This is this is something that if you're not involved, you will never know that these kind of help is here available
mhm,
for you. And financial institutions, it's that's their living. They have to do their job to help you to get your credit, employment retention credit, if you qualify, and
mhm.
that's their job, that's their living. So
That's the
yes,
living.
please
Huh?
reach out to me, and I will connect you with the local institutions, and we can get that done.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, I have Sophia here. Sophia, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah. Can you? Would you like to ask any question to Asam Sheikh? He's the council member in Torrance.
Uh, Let me think of a question and I'll come
Let me
back.
think of a question. Okay. And
I'm counting on you, Sophia.
and we have Farah and we have Razia and we have Vanessa. They are all waiting here, but somehow it says their devices are not connected. So, Razia, can you hear me? Hello? So, uh, Razia is not there, but she is logged in, but she can't hear me. And we have Vanessa and Farha, and their devices say they are not connected. So,
They can always use the chat room to post some of the questions. So If I
And
want,
one thing which is encouraging was that unfortunate tragic incidents of 9/11. They motivated the kids community a little bit. They jolted them actually, and they came forward. And in 2012, I was reading somewhere that candidate of presidential office, Mr. Obama, he traveled to Dallas and he raised $3.4 million from Pakistani community.
yep,
That is that is surprising, but somehow they after Obama, we seem to have gone to sleep again. So that's really it's encouraging, and it's also surprising.
but Shaquille,
And
I wouldn't say that was surprising that Obama raised that much. President Obama raised that much money from Muslim community. Muslim community very generous. And when I was running for my campaign, and I started with our local Muslim community, they donated a lot of money for my campaign. We have a very big heart. It is just, unfortunately, we don't know how to outreach to our community. Our community is very successful. Our community, and I'm 100% sure that I could not have won this election without the support from our Muslim community. They went above and beyond to spread the words for me and for my success. They were engaged, and
mhm,
I am so humbled and I'm thankful for their involvement and their engagement. They used to contact me via phone, via email. Hey, how can we help? And I think I have personally experienced myself that possibly they just need a little push, and they will be very successful. My,
mhm.
Inshallah.
inshallah, my little involvement, I'm telling you, a lot of people came to me from our local community, and they were so welcome. They welcomed me so much with open arms. And
Mhm.
sometimes I'm getting old, so sometimes I still don't remember their names, and they still come to me. They say, "Sam, do you remember me?" And I have to apologize. I don't remember the name, but I remember their faces and how much
Mhm.
they walked with me. They worked with me. It is just sometimes they need a little push. Awareness is there. Maybe they're a little shy, and yeah, but it is coming, and I am very hopeful. Like I said earlier, we just need to realize the power of our vote. This
True.
is so important. I can give you so many examples. Without you realizing the power of your vote, you cannot make a difference. You
That
will,
is the message.
yes,
That is
that's,
the message for today's from today's interview.
yes.
Yeah, this Sophia and Razia, they're there. Can you hear me?
Yes,
So, who's going to ask question first?
I have no question because I'm keep in touch with brother Asam, and I know since long time he's my very good brother.
Mhm.
And I am appreciate his speech, and our youth have to be wake up. Inshallah, we will do much better. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
Thank
Razia,
you.
thank you. Yeah, I know you very well. In fact, Razia is she was a teacher for my baby my baby daughter, and she supported me as well. And I cannot thank her enough. Every time I post something, and she always get engaged. And see, we need more Razias in our community. That's
Inshallah. Inshallah.
inshallah. And with your
Jazakallah.
help,
Thank you.
we will get it done. And you have done so much volunteer work. I know you personally, and I cannot thank you enough for all the work and all the volunteer work that you have done and you have produced. My daughter is the production from Masjid Al Noor, and you are part
Mhm.
of that. She is now a student at UCLA, and I'm very proud of
Mhm.
her. And it's
MashaAllah.
because we have strong foundations from teachers like Sister Razia. And I cannot thank you enough.
No, this is a teamwork, and Jazakallah. Thank you very much for appreciate. But it's a teamwork. We all work together.
Sure.
Inshallah.
Yep.
Thank you, Razia Begum. Thank you so much. Sophia, are you there? Hello.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. You have any observation? You have any question? You have any objection? You have anything to say?
Um, Maybe you already touched on this, but What do you hope to leave as your mark during your term in office?
Well, I am hoping to be a person of action, not words. And like I said, what resonates with the people, what you do when you're in the office. I am working hard, and like Shakil mentioned earlier, I have a full time, but I do not uh, uh, leave any or don't have any excuses not to work for this job, for this task that I uh, literally dreamed of to become part of this community. What I want to do, I have few important issues to tackle in the city of Torrance. I'm working with the city staff, and I am very thankful for their commitment to answer all of my questions. Uh, the city government is very different animal than the private sector.
Hmm.
For me to have a different hat when I come to city and have a different hat when I work for Honda, sometimes the switch is not that quick, that fast as I hope.
That's understandable.
But with the help of our city staff, I'm getting there. I will mark, that's going to be 6 months in December. But together we have, I'm just going to give you an example, and I think we're going to publish that pretty soon. That at the time uh, I was running for election, we were the the third worst financial city in LA County. The
Hmm.
third worst financial city. I'm talking about Torrance, with
Hmm.
60,000 people, with so many Hawthorne corridor, with Delamo Fashion Mall, one of the best in the world, and we were struggling with financing. Yes, the pandemic was a factor. Yes, there are a lot of other factors, but right now we have increased our rating because we worked together closely day and night with our city staff, and we're going to have a very good news pretty soon that we're no longer in that category.
Thank you, Sheikh Sam. There's another question. It's online. It's Rahat Naseem. And the question is, do you think the youth should be involved in this and why?
Uh, I think we have touched that.
You did, but you can repeat it for the
Yeah,
benefit of Rahat
I,
Naseem. No,
yeah,
no problem.
yeah. To reiterate, I would say uh, youth are the future of our country. Unfortunately, if you look at the data, the statistics right now, what's going on, fortunately, the city of Torrance, we have very vigorous police force. But if you look at other cities in LA County, in LA, city of LA, and other cities, the smash and grab, the uh, people are stabbing people, and unfortunately, the statistics show most of the crimes are being committed by young young children. Some of them are teenagers.
Hmm.
Some of them even l- younger than 12 years old. That
Oh,
takes my heart out.
that is serious.
Yes. And to answer your question, if youth don't understand what their role is to bring the community to become a successful for their life, not only for their life, for their city, without them getting involved, we will decline so quickly. If you read the history of Roman, how while Roman was declined, the decline and fall of Roman, because their youth was very. They, I mean, I don't want to bore you with the stories from back then, but a lot of reasons. The youth, we need to give a mission to the youth. We need to direct them where we can succeed together. I'm over 50 years old. I mean, if we do not involve our community, our youth from school, we can lose that generation. And to fill that generation, to come back on the track, it's not going to be one generation they're going to bring them back. It's going to be multiple loss of multiple generation. Unfortunately, a lot of civilizations They lost their touch because their youth fell really bad. Smash and grab, the killing people using, uh, the armed guns. They are in the hands of our youth. The fentanyl, the drugs. If we don't give them any direction, they can fall into those kind of uh, I normally call, these are like the fishes. We need
Hmm.
to, if they're not involved, they can not only literally ruin their lives, but their family's life too. So we have to give them direction. We need to show them how communities are built. The communities are built with the youth success. They have to get involved. And in fact, I invite my daughter and her friends to our house, and we talk about things like that. And like I said, I'm a man of action, and I'm proud to say that my daughter, she is major. Her major in UCLA is political science.
Hmm.
Not push her. I only showed her with example that by engaging yourself, you can make a difference. And she feels that she wants to make a difference, and she believes to understand the politics is a critical, integral part of it. I hope I answer your question.
I think you have answered very well. And before we close, there is some encouraging data which I would like to share. That's not all that we are not involved at all. Uh, in 2019, I was reading that Sadat Jafar, she became the first female Pakistani-American
Yes.
to be a mayor of a city of Montgomery in Somerset County in New Jersey. So that's
Wow.
very encouraging.
Thank you for
In,
sharing. Not know
yeah,
that.
in 2021, Mr. Ali Zadi, he became the first deputy White House national climate advisor serving in the Joe Biden administration.
That I know. Yes.
Yeah. And then we had and President Biden also nominated Dilawar Sayed to serve as deputy administration of the Small Business Administration.
Yep.
That's also in 2021.
Very encouraging. Yeah.
Yeah. And then in June 2021, Lina Khan became the chief of the Federal Trade Commission. This probably we know because this was a lot in the news. And
That's
that's very important, high profile appointment. So
Yep.
it's not all that bad, but it's not enough what we are doing. We need
Yeah.
to do more, and we continue to do more. And it is for the youth
That's
for
right.
to come forward and to show interest. And
Inshallah.
then Rahat Naseem says, thank you very much, Sheikh Saab. And he again says, Rahat Naseem again says, I appreciate your jobs and many duas for you.
Thank you so much.
So,
Thank you all. Thank you, Shakil, for organizing this. You are definitely an integral part of our community. Thank you for your services. Thank you for your engagement. And thank you for you to ask these questions. If you don't ask these questions, who should? And I am really, really thankful to you. And I meet with you sometimes, and you always show your passion to bring community and you, the youth, to get involved. And I really appreciate that. And we got to work as a team to get this done.
thank you
Inshallah.
very Thank you
Inshallah.
very much, everyone.
Thank you.
And there are two persons here whose devices could not be connected, so we can't reach them and they can't reach us.
Sure.
And then Shoaib Zahiruddin, he says, thank you. This was very informative.
Glad to hear that.
Yeah. So thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Thank you very much, Brother Asim. We learn a lot.
Good to hear that.
Thank you, everyone. If there is no other question, we can close it and say thank you to everyone and hope to see you again on this program with even better involvement. Thank you
Inshallah.
and
Inshallah.
Have
salam.
a happy holidays.